Hello everyone. Now today let us discuss the questions based on redox titration. First question. Titrations done with standard iodine solution are called oxidation, iodometry, iodimetry or redox. So titrations with iodine solution, that means iodine is directly used here. So it is known as iodimetry titration. Now see, in redox titration, there are two types of the titrations. One is iodometry and iodimetry. Actually, the redox word has come from the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction. But the type of the titration based on the iodine which is used, it is in the form of iodine or iodide. It is a type of iodimetry titration when standard iodine solution is used. The titrations done with liberated iodine against a reductant like hypo solution are called. Now here the iodine has been liberated by using a solution where iodide has been oxidized to iodine. So from I minus, I2 has been formed. Now I2 that is formed is now titrated with the reductant like hypo, that is sodium thiosulfate solution. So on reacting with the reductant, iodine acts as a weak oxidizing agent. But here what is written, the titrations done with the liberated iodine. So it is an indirect type of titration where iodide ion has been oxidized to iodine, and then after this iodine, which acts as a weak oxidizing agent, has been titrated by the hypo solution, that is a reducing agent. So it is a type of iodometry titration. Next question. Which of the following is not a redox type of indicator? Diphenylamine, 1,10-phenanthroline, methylene blue and methyl red. Now if we consider the redox type of indicator, the indicators that shows the change in the potential at which the transition in the color occurs, that is the potential value changes. It shows different color in its oxidized state and in its reduced state. That can act as a redox indicator. Now in case of the options given, diphenylamine, methylene blue and 1,10-phenanthroline shows the different colors in the transition potential value and in its oxidized and reduced state. And we know that methyl orange shows the change in the color based on the pH of the solution. So methyl red is not the type of a redox indicator. Next question. The indicator used for the titration of H2C2O4, that is oxalic acid, and KMNO4 is methyl orange, methyl red, methylene blue, or none of them. So here the titration carried out is between the oxalic acid and KMNO4. So KMNO4 acts as a strong oxidizing agent against oxalic acid, which acts as a reducing agent. And we know that the indicator of redox type are of three types: internal redox indicator, external redox indicator and self indicator. So out of these three, KMNO4 is an example of a self indicator where we don't have to add any indicator because itself it is colored and its color gets disappeared. That is the indication of the endpoint. So none of the option is correct option. Next question. Iodine hydrolysis in alkaline solution to give. So iodine I2 in the alkaline medium, that is 2OH minus, it gives I minus plus H2O, I3 minus triiodide ion plus 2OH minus, Hi plus O2, or I minus plus IO minus plus H2O. Now for the accurate results, whenever the iodimetry or iodometry titration is done, the solution should be acidic. That is, pH has to be between 4 to 5.5. If the solution or medium becomes alkaline, basic, that is the pH is above 8, then iodine reacts with the hydroxide and produces unstable hypoiodide, and after that hypoiodide is IO minus, and after that it gives the formation of iodate ion, that is IO3 minus ion. So in the alkaline solution, I2 with the OH minus of the base that is added, it hydrolyzes and gives the formation of hypoiodide, and after that it forms iodate ion. Next question. Substance that imparts color when starch reacts with I3 minus is amylose, amylopectin, cellulose, or amino acid. Now, whenever we are doing the iodimetry or iodometry titration, we are using starch as an indicator, and we add this to the iodine solution, which is yellow in color, and on adding starch we get blue color. Then after, it is titrated with sodium thiosulfate till it becomes colorless solution. Now, because of the presence of which substance that is present in starch, it gives blue color to the complex that is formed with the triiodide ion. So we know that starch is made up of amylose and amylopectin, but because of the presence of amylose, it gives the blue color with the iodine. Amylose is a helical structure, and into that helical structure the complex is formed when the triiodide reacts with that starch, that is the amylose present in the starch, and hence it changes the color, and especially the beta amylose gives the color. That is, we know in the potato the starch is present, so it gives blue color. Next question. Oxidation of a substance is accompanied by loss of electrons, formation of precipitates, gain of electrons, or decrease in oxidation number. Now, whenever we are studying the redox reaction, we have to study two types of the reaction that are undergoing: oxidation half reaction and the reduction half reaction. Both undergo simultaneously so that the complete redox reaction occurs. Now, the oxidation half reaction means when a substance is getting oxidized. So here if we take the ionic equation, ionic reaction for ferrous sulfate when it is titrated with any of the oxidizing agent like KMnO4 or cerium sulfate. So FeSO4, from that Fe plus 2 ion gets oxidized to Fe plus 3 ion, ferrous to ferric, plus electron. So this is the oxidation half reaction. Now if we understand based on the definition, oxidation is accompanied by the loss of electron, as well as it is accompanied by the increase in the oxidation number. From plus 2 it has undergone oxidation, it gives Fe plus 3. So the correct option here is the loss of electron, because it is the oxidation of the substance. Next question. Which of the following is correct for the reduction of any substance? Now, as we have taken the oxidation, it is accompanied by the loss of electron, increase in the oxidation number. Reduction will be opposite of that. That is, reduction is the gain of electron, or it is with the decrease in the oxidation number. So the correct option is here the gain of electron. Next question. Atom or ion in a substance that shows increase in oxidation number acts as analyte, titrant, oxidizing agent, or reducing agent. Now, when we define the oxidation and reduction term, we understand this by a titration or a reaction between, say, FeSO4 with KMnO4, or we are taking cerium sulfate. And the ionic reactions shows that Fe plus 2 undergoes oxidation, giving Fe plus 3 ferric ion, and that electron which is released here is gained by cerium plus 4 ion, that shows the reduction. So here the oxidation half reaction and reduction half reactions are shown. Now we need to understand the terms oxidizing agent and reducing agent. The reaction that undergoes oxidation itself, it acts as a reducing agent, and the reaction that is undergoing reduction, that substance itself acts as an oxidizing agent. Here if we consider, FeSO4 acts as a reducing agent and cerium sulfate acts as an oxidizing agent. Fe undergoes oxidation, itself it acts as a reducing agent. Cerium sulfate undergoes reduction, itself acts as an oxidizing agent. in place of oxidizing agent like cerium sulfate, we can also take KMnO4 or potassium dichromate, the titration with FeSO4. So if we consider KMnO4, Mn is having the oxidation state +7, it gets reduced to +2. So itself undergoes reduction, but KMnO4 acts as an oxidizing agent. Okay, so the correct option here, that is a substance that shows increase in oxidation number, it will act as a reducing agent. Next question. In a redox titration, substance that is being reduced acts as. So just now we have taken the two, oxidizing half reaction and redox half reaction, understanding the oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So half reaction which is given here, it is of the KMnO4. So ionic reaction, if we see MnO4 minus from KMnO4, it undergoes reduction giving Mn plus 2. So itself acts as a strong oxidizing agent. So in a redox titration, the substance that is being reduced acts as an oxidizing agent. Okay. Next question. Which of the following is a type of external redox indicator? KMnO4, starch, potassium hexacyanoferrate 3, or diphenylamine. So if we consider the types of the redox indicators, there are basically three types: internal redox indicators, external redox indicators, and self indicator. So self indicators, we know KMnO4 acts as a self indicator. Now if we consider the internal redox indicators, the example includes 1,10-phenanthroline or diphenylamine or starch. And external redox indicators are the potassium hexacyanoferrate or potassium ferricyanide. So correct option is potassium hexacyanoferrate. Next question. Redox titrations are based on Nernst equation, de Broglie's equation, Charles' law, or Huckel's rule. So we measure the potential for the oxidized form and the reduced form, and as such the redox titrations or redox reaction undergoes oxidation and reduction half reaction, which is based on the potential value that we can calculate using the Nernst equation. So the correct option is Nernst equation, on which the redox titrations are based. Hope this is helpful. Happy learning. Thank you.